Hey, lady. Thanks for clicking in. It's my intro. Yes, my name is Jenny Page. I'm the founder of the Greater Women Club, and we are all about making good women great. And we have just joined the Time Together series, episode 3. And I woke up this morning having had a few conversations with a few different people this week, inspired to talk about how it is that we listen to each other and how it is that we put our relationships first. And I hope that you will take time to listen to the entire video. I go from kind of um, basic overall, um, kind of that mid level, and then at the end, it gets a little deep. Um, and, all those levels can have several other videos attached. So if you have questions, comments, needs, let me know. I am completely 100% available to this community to be able to help us grow. So you tell me, you're here with me. So you tell me what it is that you need. Hey, I thought this might be a little bit better instead of all the colors around me. And this feels a little bit more intimate because I know wherever you are, you're in your space. And now you see me and I'm in my space. When we begin a conversation with someone, especially, I, I, I absolutely love these Time Together series because I just realize I can totally be myself. I can. I'm not going to over edit this thing. So we are getting ready to spend some time together no pun intended, to talk about the subject matter that is incredibly important. So when you listen to somebody, when you're in relationship, when you're in the presence of somebody that you're in a relationship with, that you want to be in a relationship with, then it is incredibly important that you hold a positive feeling about that person when you all are together. When they're talking about a subject, I want you to know in your heart, this person, I care about this person. I believe in their resources. And I believe that they are the expert of what it is that they are experiencing in this moment. And I can trust this conversation and I'm going to listen. Just by doing that, there's this thing called mirrored neurons. It's something you can look it up, but it's basically something invisible that is passing between me and another person while in each other's spaces. Now, through the online community and being able to do a lot of virtual work since the little change that happened through 2020, I've also noticed that even being able to hold that positive feeling about a person can also be translated through the screen. And I hope that when we're spending time with each other, that you feel that I'm showing up for you. I believe in you, and I hope that that helps you to feel more confident in yourself and more at ease with yourself. Um, I feel like I need to have my hands up here because you're not going to be able to see my little praying hands. Um, that I hold, such positive, thoughts for you. So that being said, that is understood. That is always going on whenever you are talking with somebody that you care about. If you happen to feel suspicious, if you happen to, the moment they start talking, you're in the wrong. You don't have to say those things, but if that's what's going on with you on the inside, then that is exactly what's going to happen. That is going to affect that person and how they're feeling about themselves and how they're going to be communicating with you. And if you are in a relationship, you want to be in a relationship with somebody that is able to be as authentic as possible with you. So that takes confidence. And I believe that if you will care about them in that moment, that will help to build their confidence, and you're going to have a much more authentic conversation. So number 2, I'm going to give you a story because I like teaching in tales. Um, Back in the day, I was a single mom, and I had one kid, and I went to with I guess there was going to be a slumber party, and so I decided to kind of I don't know what the word is, but co-lead a slumber party. And I remember there being 8 children there, and I thought 8 is great. And I got to be real. I'm used to 1, and there were 8 kiddos running around, lots of energy. And I personally was probably getting a little bit overwhelmed myself. And I'll never forget, we're so many hours into it, and I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, how can we just like keep keep the energy level in check. Let's make sure everybody's safe. This is even before I think that I had, I think at the time I was doing some counseling with adults. I had not yet switched over to the marriage and family. And then, through marriage and family, I began to work with much more, many more children by that time. But at this time, I think I'm basically working with adults. So kid energy was like, whoa. And I remember me and the other mother standing with each other, and this one little one running up and say, "Mommy, mommy." And they begin to launch into this idea about what it is that they were wanting to do. And I sat there and my anxiety started to rise. And I'm like, oh no, we're not doing that. That's mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Like, that's too much. So if that child was focused in on me and that vibe, what do you think that would have done to their feeling of creativity? Um, right? Just probably not so good. But instead, I'm observing this thing going on, and I am starting actually to feel nervous because I'm watching the mother, and she's like this. Yeah. What else? I mean, she was literally like building the story up, right? And I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden at the end, she said, "You know what? That's a great idea. I love your thoughts." She's like, "We're not going to do it right now." And it shook me. And I'm telling you this story today because that absolutely changed the way that I allow a person to have their voice and have their opinion. And with their voice, with their opinion, it doesn't have to be mine, right? And I can openly listen to them without too much anxiety because I will know my own boundaries. Like in that situation, I didn't know because I hadn't really talked with her about it. In that situation, she knew we weren't going there, right? But what she valued in that moment was allowing her child to have an imagination and really talk through a thought. And ladies, that's important. That's an important skill. So I want to encourage you to do the same, that if you have anyone in your life, specifically little ones, when they don't know how, little ones, big ones, okay, it's lack of knowledge. If they are going off in left field and you're like, that ain't gonna work, uh, let's let the world kind of help them figure that out a bit. For instance, in high school, it's very common for teenagers and smaller to tell everyone, now listen, if you had a 5-year-old and they said, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be an NBA star, or I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be X, Y, and Z, you're like, that's fantastic. You wouldn't think much about it because you're like, they don't know, right? So move ahead 10 years and say that 5-year-old turns 15 or a 6-year-old turns 16, however that works. And they still say, I want to be an NBA star. I want to be a rock star. I want to be an astronaut. I don't know. I want to be president, whatever it is. Okay. Um, and hey, somebody's child could very well be the president one day, but there's only so many, right? So the likelihood somebody's going to grow up and be president, kind of slim. However, we don't have to tell them that. We could say, that sounds great. Now, when I have that situation happen and somebody says they want to be an NBA star, I said, well, are you on the basketball team? If they're not on the basketball team, you're like, okay. I said, well, that's important. We got to get on the basketball team. Or before we get on the basketball team, are you doing any running? Doing any push-ups? You throwing the ball at the goal? I do those sorts of questions, right? I mean, I'm a therapist, right? So, but my big thing is though that they have a goal for the future. That's important, right? That they think in those ways, and then you can start to problem solve them a little bit. But the world and how all that works will basically take care of all that. And ladies, it is very common for um, adolescents to still be in a little bit of fantasy in terms of what it is that they want to do. But that is the energy that's going to help them launch out there in the world, right? So
just let it happen and enjoy the time that you have a child that's dreaming big. Or, and you can put that out into other relationships. And I'm kind of hone in this message a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. That's what all about. That's what time together is. Because if you and I were spending time together right now, um, you wouldn't edit me. You just let me do this, right? And the same thing, if I was spending time with you right now and you were talking to me, I wouldn't edit you. I just spend time with you. So I'm practicing what we preach, and I'm willing to be vulnerable and produce something that is unedited. So within reason, I'll take. Like I said, I want to respect your time. And you see, I worked on my audio. hmm Um, so the third part of this is probably deeper, and this comes along. I do want to. For me, it's a very specific example that can come. It can go with relationships in general, but I think it's very specific to perhaps being able to listen to someone that you have cared for in your life, you have been a caregiver for. Um, this has happened over time, and so you have a younger person, and as they begin to age, they bring to your attention that something you did caused them damage. Now, I'll tell you right now, it is best that we overcome our parenting. Okay, there's this whole notion out there that if we were perfect parents, we would raise children with problems, right? So all of us are imperfect, and it's the best to be good enough. I'm telling you the truth. The good enough parenting style is best because it allows um, the child that you're taking care of to be able to develop their own path and to differentiate, to change from you, to do something different from you, and to become their whole self. And there is nothing wrong if something happened during their childhood that leads them into therapy. I mean, I do therapy. There's nothing wrong with them to be able to go and talk with somebody. There isn't. There's nothing wrong for you to be able to go in and talk with somebody. That's another video. Um, but this is the thing, and this is what takes a lot of courage. Okay, if at some point your uh, child comes to you that is no longer a little child, time has passed. There is no way of being able to go back and change anything that's already happened, right? But now they've come to you and they've told you that what it is that happened was very damaging to them, and they are still experiencing some grief, some trauma, that sort of stuff. Now, a parent who cares will that will cause some anxiety. And anxiety causes a lot of things, but it can cause us to pinpoint back on ourselves how it is, what is it that I did that made this situation happen? Or like I take primary, like with through anxiety, a lot of times I take primary ownership of whatever's going on there. Like I'm forgetting that there's other things going on. Um, and okay, so just one little offshoot is if somebody's walking down the hallway and I say good morning, and and they keep on going. A person with anxiety will start to wonder, was that because I asked them to do something? Was that because of what happened yesterday? Was this because I when the truth is they with them going, it could be that, I don't know, they stubbed their toe that morning and it still hurts and they just don't feel like talking. Don't have anything to do with me, right? But anxiety will cause us to think about ourselves in that situation, overly think about ourselves. Um, so your child tells you something that was hurtful, and you start to, I've had this experience, I start to think, uh, of all the ways that I could have done something differently that perhaps could have prevented that hurt. Now, I wasn't directly involved in that situation, as many of us are not directly involved in that situation, or we are completely unaware that we were involved in a situation that would then have caused my child such grief that they have carried it for so many years. So, what is natural in that situation, unless you're some superhuman person that already has it all together, you will start to dysregulate, get upset, how you express the expression, um, how you express the expression of that anxiety, the expression of grief, the expression of remorse, the expression of regret, how it is that you start to do that. Sometimes when we have been part of hurting someone and we want to apologize for that, we will then attempt to hurt ourselves. Not literally, but we will begin to, well, all this negative sort of stuff, right? Just flogging ourselves for the mistake that we made. And do you see how much I am upset with myself is, is proof that I want to, I need for you to know, like, like you're just trying somehow to say you're sorry, right? And because it's something that's happened in the past, you can't change it. So what can I do now but just, right? Over and over and over. This is where I need to challenge you. The person has come to you because they care about you. They need you. And they also need for you to know the truth. Okay? When I began flogging myself and hurting myself, I am hurting. So the person who has come to me is now realizing by giving me information about their life that they needed me to know that now they have hurt me. So not only do they have their problem, now they got my problem. And guess what, ladies? It starts to shut down. This is probably one of the most difficult things, and we can talk about stuff like this in other videos. Please ask me questions, comments. I will go there with you. I will help you. But not even but, and, let me say and. You are going to have to put yourself to the side and be the mother or the caregiver, the grandmother, whoever it is, sister, friend, whomever it is, you are going to have to be the person in their life that they need in that moment. And what they need is someone to care for them and to acknowledge their pain and to share in some grief. Now, it's not my grief because I messed up or I created a situation that caused that pain to happen, right? It's I'm now experiencing uh, that person's grief with them. I am joined with them. Me, I got to move that out of the way, okay? Because I need to be who it is that they need me to be right now, and they don't need me to be another problem to them, right? They just need me to be a support. So I know that it's hard, okay? But this is the payoff. If you will be willing to put yourself to the side and be connected to that person, put the relationship first. Put that person first. Then you will have a payback of working through that issue. It's not going to be easy. It can sometimes take years to work through that issue. But the thing is, in that years, whatever it may happen in that week, whatever the amount of time is, it's meaningful. It's connected. Things don't have to be perfect for there to be good love between two people. It just has to be meaningful. It needs to be fair. It needs to be a place that's safe, right? So that's my encouragement, okay? And you're going to ask me, well, what am I supposed to do with my grief? Well, what I would suggest is to put it to the side for the moment that you're in that conversation. And when that conversation over and you've given it time and you've given it a hug and you step away from it, you need to take care of yourself. You need to do what it is that you need to do. Number one, insight that came to me that I hold on to with everything that I can is that history is amoral. It is what it is. And I can either repeat it or I can learn from it. And I tell you what, I'm going to learn from it. And I keep on moving forward in the best way that I can, trying to be better than I was yesterday. And I encourage you to do the same. Now, there's a lot of work that may be having to, that we may have to do through that. And I really think, over the series of videos and things that might come, that will happen on this channel, that perhaps, I can share, insight and guidance and those sorts of things that can help you. So, because I know not all of us live in an area that we can get in touch with a therapist. I understand that. And I understand that sometimes it's just not going to work out to see a therapist. And it could be that we are in a place, it could be that you are the black sheep of the family, and you're the black sheep because you're the only healthy one. That happens. Like the whole family system is a little messy, and you're like the one person that's like, do you see the mess? And everybody's like, no, you're the mess. And you're like, I mean, there's so many times when I've been in therapy that I, I, I get to care for the one little healthy one that, when they walk in my door, they really think there's something wrong with them. I'm like, no, 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 sweet lady, there is everything right with you. So, maybe this channel can help with things like that too. So anyway, that is my time with you today. And I hope this has helped. I hope it has stirred your heart. I just, I mean, I know I just gave you a lot, but you can watch the video again. Again, ask questions, do your research, and I hope we get to move forward and have more conversations like this because listening in a way that you're putting your relationship first is life changing. Life changing. And that's exactly what I want for you. We're all about making good women great. And I think this is a step in the right direction. So thank you for your time. And of course, please share with your friends. Share with your friends. This is a good, if this message, if somehow it's come out, because this is kind of a one take kind of venture for me right now. If this has come out in a way that it's been meaningful to you, please share it with other ladies, because I would love it if other ladies were listening to other people in the same way, like that they would believe in each other, that they would believe in their kids. And then when their kid came up to talk with them, that they wouldn't automatically shut them down because there's just not enough time and we're just not going to do that. When we're in poverty and we don't have any finances and our child comes up with some idea that you just know that we can't do that. And I'm not saying financial poverty, it could be poverty of mindset, right? That there's just not enough. Please listen to your child. Please let them dream, right? So I know a lot of people may not even get to the end of this video, so I'm not even going to worry about that. I got emotional about it, but that would just be an amazing thing if we can just kind of spread the word about how we are supposed to listen to each other and how we're supposed to listen to our children, because it'd make a huge difference, because those sweet little babies they've had to go through all this stuff that happened with all this 2020 stuff and a lot of isolation, and now they're on computers and tech and all this other stuff, and those little minds that are really, really needing to connect with, a human being, and, all this sort of stuff, that's so important to their health. Because if they don't have that, and they're just connecting with the computer all the time, that's why we're having some trouble in the teenage years, and that's why we're having some trouble in the young adult years. You know, so what could happen if we could all learn to listen to each other a little bit better? You know, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm interested in building up this women's community, because I mean, I really do think we can change things. So that's my inspiration. And again, thank you for your time, and please subscribe, please share.